My guest tonight is the executive director at the Venture Café in the Cortex District. Please give a warm welcome to Travis Sheridan, everybody. Travis, thanks for coming on the show. How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Great show, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome
Thank
show.
you very much. We were lucky enough, St. Louis that is, to snag you, right? You're a transplant, correct?
From California.
From Cali.
Yeah.
From Cali. And you were in the startup game in Cali, correct?
I was, yeah. I was living in Fresno, California, which is like the St. Louis of the West Coast.
The St. Louis.
Yeah.
Was that a dig or was that a positive thing you just said about us?
It's an awesome thing for St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Fresno has some work to do.
Okay, fantastic. Well, then I guess that leads me into my next question. How is St. Louis doing so far in the startup scene?
St. Louis is great. I came here January 2012. Everything seems to be clicking in the right direction. I could tell people are moving forward by the complaints that, when I got here in 2012, they were like, I can't find seed capital, I can't find investors, blah, blah, blah. Now they're saying I can't find bigger rounds of money. So it's like their complaints have matured, so I think we're heading in the right direction.
Perfect, so their complaints are getting better, essentially.
I'm all about sunshines and lollipops around here.
Okay, well how would it compare to then California? Like what problems do they have or not have?
I mean, I think California is smoke and mirrors. I mean,
it doesn't exist, does it?
It doesn't really exist.
No.
Like there's
a fake
Nevada,
place.
and then there's just like an ocean.
Yeah.
It's expensive to live there.
Right.
When I say smoke and mirrors, it's either burning or it's vain, right? Like those things do exist.
That's true.
And the startup community just doesn't have a sense of community. I mean, it's just really people doing startups, but not hanging out, not supporting each other.
Well, they're all stuck in traffic.
They are.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that takes us to the Venture Café.
Yeah.
You guys, you essentially have entrepreneurs come through there. They kind of tell their story or kind of explain what they're doing. And
yeah, so it's anybody interested in innovation. So they could be entrepreneurs or school teachers or musicians or comedians, anybody that thinks that the world can be better through innovation. They get together every Thursday night at Venture Café. My mom thought it was really strange that at 40 years old I was leaving a good job to run a cafe.
Yeah, sure.
But
you were like, it's a venture
it's
cafe.
It's a venture cafe.
You don't get it, Mom.
Right.
You don't get it, Mom.
Yeah. See it.
Yeah.
So they come together every Thursday night, and we get 400 people a week that come out to that. So, and we do it every week, 49 times a year.
We'll send 100 of them over to us.
Sure thing. Yeah.
Yeah, every week.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Any kind of maybe kind of crazy stories or anything really interesting that's come out of that you've been surprised by so far?
Yeah, there was one of my favorite stories is this bioscientist stopped me and he said, Travis, I spent 45 minutes talking to a filmmaker. And I'm like, well, Dave, what did you and this filmmaker talk about? And they talked about the art of storytelling. Because as a bioscientist, he's really bad at telling his story. As he puts it, he talks at the petri dish level all the time.
Okay.
And he talked to this filmmaker about the better way to tell a story at a human level. And then the other story I love is that a set designer for the Muni came out, and he talked about, this is what I do when I look at a script and bring it to life. And if you want to run a business, look at your business through the lens of a set designer.
And then he launched into a musical.
And he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. It was choreography. It was beautiful.
That's really cool. I mean,
the hills were alive with the sound of music.
With the sound of the Muni. Perfect. Well, I mean, it seems like you guys are doing incredible things. So going forward, where do you see St. Louis, let's say in 5 years? Where do you want to see St. Louis?
Yeah, so my dream for St. Louis is that we stop comparing ourselves to other people.
Perfect.
And we just compare ourselves to
how Fresno. Let's not be Fresno.
Yeah, no, just don't be Fresno. Let's just be a better St. Louis.
Yeah.
So in 5 years from now, we should be better than we are today, right? This set should be bigger. Your audience should be bigger. You'll have a huge contract.
Right, yeah, exactly. Everything's going to be huge.
Right? Yeah, support that.
We don't need LA. We don't need New York. We can do it right here.
Right.
It's perfect. Well, that brings me to kind of my last thing that we're going to talk about a little bit. The beer storming?
Booze
storming?
We got to go hard with that. It's booze storming.
Booze storming. Yeah. Okay. Explain that really briefly.
So once a month, I get about 25 people together at my house for this thing called booze storming. And now it happens, I think, in 8 cities around the United States.
Oh, wow.
What happens is people come to my house, they put a question or topic on a bar napkin, Everybody grabs a drink and we talk about it.
Perfect.
What do we know? What should we do? What would the new reality look like? And by the end of the evening, we've either saved the world, or we're so sloshed we don't care anymore.
That's perfect.
Right? Either way,
Booze storming
we win.
is taking things by storm.
Yes.
Okay, well, we are going to do some booze storming of our own. So stick around if you're watching this online. You can watch that. If you are watching this on TV, stick around. We'll be right back with Al Holiday and the East Side Rhythm Band.